welcome to Front Office Features. I am Rob Crane here with Chris Valente. Chris, hola.
Hola, Rob.
Yeah, I went Spanish.
Buenos noche.
No chase or no?
Buenos noche. Noche.
No chase. I think.
Really?
Buenos noches. Is that good night?
I,
Buenos dias. Who the hell cares? Anyway,
Alina can correct us.
Someone can correct us. I mean, we've got listeners from all over the globe. Welcome to another wonderful edition of Front Office Features. We start off with a bang. Anyway, how are you doing?
I'm okay.
I don't believe you.
You don't have to believe me. It's been I was telling you right before we hit the record play button, whatever. I'm having what I think I can determine as pandemic burnout, not fatigue, burnout.
You're just done.
I'm done.
So what does burnout mean in your mind? What have you noticed that's different between fatigue and burnout, and how are you feeling? Like, how does that transpire into like everyday life?
I'm a little bit more on edge. It's
At
things
work?
that yeah, definitely at work. Things that don't bother me have been bothering me. Stuff that I'm usually just like, no big deal, is really getting to me. The mindset of going through these next couple months is kind of getting me down in terms of having to renegotiate everything again. I just want to go back to normal. And I know, like, look, understanding everybody's in a different situation, and I've gotten through this thing pretty good, but I think it's the dark, the cold, stuck inside, no real end in sight for our industry. I know there's an end in sight for the pandemic, but I've had a on edge week, no doubt about it.
I feel you. I feel the edginess. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I just there's certain things that I'm just like, I don't want to deal with, and I have to, and I feel like I just dealt with them, and I feel like we're now at a point where a lot of people don't know what to do anymore. Like, our group has not had a pause button this whole entire time, right? Like, so from day one of the pandemic, my group has had to go at 100 miles per hour, whether it be to save money, push money, renegotiate, sell new stuff. We have so many properties that we still work on. There really hasn't been like this down time for us in the pandemic. It's been go, 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 go. And now that other stuff is starting to fire back up, people are looking to our group to help and save and salvage their stuff. And there's just so much stuff on our plate, and you don't know which way to turn. And you just know that like 90% of the stuff you're doing right now isn't going to come to fruition in full.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of gets you like in a weird spot of, what am I doing? And then you got to snap out of it, because you have to snap out of it. You got to power through. And I get that. But like, this week has just been, it's been long. It's been hard. Jeez, that's what she said. But it's really just like, I'm having one of those weeks, and there's like everything. It's just everything just piled up. And I just finally was like down here in my basement where I'm always at. I was like, I just need to get out of here. Like, I just need to get out of here right now. And I feel like everyone hits that point during this pandemic at a certain level. And I finally got to it. And I don't know what to do about it, because you really can't do anything about it. Like, it is what it is. It's a pandemic still. You can't just go out. You can't just go to things. It's still New England. It's freezing cold. It is. My kids have actually been great. It's not them. It's just a lot of stuff where you're just like, all right, I kind of need this to be over, because in my world, I still have in your world, we kind of have another year of this. Like,
yeah,
we're not going to see normalcy again, probably for you and I, till like April of next year.
Where it's like full stadiums and no masks, right, and that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So like, that's a long way away. So
yeah, but hopefully people are telling me maybe this summer.
Yeah, there's no doubt it will be better in 2021. But for what you and I and most people need it to be, we're probably talking NFL, NHL, back end of the season in 2021. We're going to go through a rough period for the next couple months for sure. And I think it's just hitting me like a ton of bricks of like a lot of the stuff I'm doing every day is not for naught. It's not going to be what I hope it to be or completed to be. Like, it's just, I don't know. It's just weighing. I have literally pandemic burnout right now. It's not fatigue. I'm, I'm kind of fried. Like, I'm
Are
not
you
going to
allowed
lie.
to go to Fenway at all?
Yeah. Our office is open 2 days a week. If you go, so that you have to get tested twice in the week. You have to drive in, drop off your test, wait for results, and then you have access to go into the office. You have to wear a mask the whole time you're there. You can't meet with anybody. There's really no reason for me to go in other than what I just said to get out of my house. But it's bringing a risk that doesn't need to be had to solve that problem.
Yeah, I will say this. I've been able to go and be with people a couple of times during the week as you go to the construction trailers uh and we have to move out of McCoy by Sunday. Um so been around people. I will say being around other human beings helps. I can't do the Zoom stuff much longer. The Zoom things stink. I'm done with that.
Yeah, I am with you
It's
there.
so inefficient.
I also,
Did I just yell that?
you did.
That's fine.
Uh, I mean, we've been doing some sales training, and now I know like everyone in high school or any age right now is learning nothing, by the way, because sitting on a Zoom for 2 hours to listen to someone talk to you is just,
The
it's,
worst.
it's not going to work. And then I don't know. Yeah. And it's just a lot. It's just a lot. And I do miss like being at the ballpark or hearing sounds in the game and like just the atmosphere that you're used to being in. And it's been over a year, and it's crazy.
It's been
I've,
over a year from.
the last time I was at a baseball game was in 2019.
Yeah, right.
It
Right.
was it was September of 2019. I mean, we stunk in 2019, so we didn't make the playoffs. I haven't been at a baseball game since September of 2019.
Yeah, it's tough to go through. It really is. I think we all go through kind of our ups and downs of this, and I can't imagine. And a lot of our listeners are looking at this, is like listening to this, and like, trying to find a job during this time has got to be.
Oh,
There's got to be a lot of ups and downs to that too.
I will tell you, every time and every night I get into bed, I literally have to remind myself how lucky I am. No, how lucky I am. And I have an amazing job with an amazing organization, and I'm extremely lucky in that regard. And I sometimes feel guilty feeling this way, but I'm being honest and transparent right now. Like I've had a rough week. I had a much better day today, 100% better day today. It started off rocky, but it got better. You know where actually, like I went out, it snowed here. We got like 4 or 5 inches yesterday, which actually was a blessing in disguise because I got my kids out of the house. And I went outside after I did some of my calls this morning, and they were playing, and I just went and played with them. And it was like, it changed my tune immediately because it was just like outside having fun,
Yeah.
not worried about stuff. And I got my mind off other things. And the rest of my afternoon, when I came back and did some work, was that much better. But yeah, no, I miss like just going out with friends or going to there's certain things this week that just came compiling on, and I was like
going to dinner or something like that.
Something like you and I we tried to go to dinner a year ago, right? We planned a dinner a year ago, and we still haven't been able to do that.
Because we were like, let's go mid-February, early March.
And yeah, no. So anyway, I'm doing better tonight. I am doing better tonight, but it was I'd call it burnout. I was a little burnt out. Little things were setting me off at work. I was a little on edge and a little agitated with certain folks and certain things that were happening. And I'm typically a person who just lets that stuff roll off my back and I move on. And this week it was not happening. I think
I struggle with that. I take
Rachel,
those types of things.
Rachel was like,
I lose my mind.
She was like, "Who are you yelling at?" She's like that. She's like, "All I hear you is you yelling at your computer." And I was like, "Yeah, I know." And I wasn't like yelling at people, like berating them. I was expressing my frustration to other people, and I was getting fired up about it. I wasn't like yelling at people, being like
you're doing a bad job or something
No,
like
I
that.
wasn't doing it. It was none of that. I've done that like twice in my life.
I'm frustrated about this point.
Yeah, like I've only yelled, I think, at staff twice in my life because again, like I don't let work usually get me to that point. I'll fire them up in a different way or like whatever, but I'm never like screaming at people. Like I'm not a screamer at people. Like
Did
I
I ever
just
tell
don't.
you what happened? I got a funny. Did I ever tell you I lost my temper in Scranton one time? And in a staff meeting, I come in and it was a staff meeting, game day meeting, and something triggered me. I don't know. Someone didn't have. I don't know. Something triggered me, and I lost it. Like I lost my temper. Like I lost it. Stormed out like a baby, and I had a temper tantrum. I literally had an adult temper tantrum in front of 30 of my colleagues. Right.
What set you off?
I think it was we go around and basically say, all right, what's going on for tonight? And then anything that we need to improve upon from yesterday. Was there anything like that we need to improve upon from yesterday? Or and no one said anything. And the night before wasn't great. I was like, and then I lost it. I lost it. I just lost my mind. I lost my mind. I started yelling and screaming. You're telling me that we didn't do anything. What about this, and this? Oh, what about that? What about? And I like lose it. Like I lost it. I have no like blackout. Lost my mind. Doesn't.
I had that happen to me too. It was the same situation. It was like a post game night and it was a disaster of a game. And everyone was in the office kind of like joking around afterwards.
Oh, that's
And I
when
was like,
people are joking around and
oh,
you're pissed off. It's like
and
the
I was
worst thing
like,
ever.
oh, no, 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 no. Like people were worried about like, where's the pizza? I'm like, where's the pizza? Like, I'm about to show you what the pizza is because I'm about to shove it down your throat if you talk about this. Like, it was a disaster of a game. The promotions went wrong. People weren't where they were supposed to be. And I was like, okay, that like those are going to happen in a long season. You're going to have those mess ups. But if you come back downstairs and everyone's just like joking around like nothing even happened, I lost it. This is like, I don't know. I was like 24 at the time. I lost my shit.
Yeah.
And every once in, I mean, but yeah, I'm not a screamer at staff or people like that. But I was like, I was talking to more of my colleagues and stuff was coming to me and I was then venting loudly to them. And I think they were kind of because I don't get like that. They were like, "Oh man, he must be really fired up."
Yeah.
So
So did I have to tell you how I redeemed myself the next day in the staff meeting.
did you bring ice cream or something?
No, I embarrassed myself. And I wore a woman's tank top and a mini skirt out into the full front office meeting, and
Mea culpa? You mea culpa?
I did that, and I publicly apologized, and embarrassed myself. Everyone got a good laugh, and we moved on to the next day.
You can't do that in 2021 anymore, Rob.
It was probably right. You probably can't anymore, right?
No, you probably can't do that in 2021 anymore.
I was just having fun.
I know it. Yeah, I know. I still probably can't do that in 2021 anymore. But
No, you definitely can't. You definitely can't.
But
I did embarrass myself pretty good.
Which is, yeah, of course, it was probably hilarious, and I don't think it was offensive.
Everyone was laughing.
It wasn't meant to be offensive at all.
Oh, of course not. If anyone thinks it's offensive, geez, oh man, come on, relax.
But the point of everything I just shared was it's okay to not be okay. And there is a light at the end of the tunnel. But if you're having those type of days or weeks, don't let it eat up inside and talk about it because I've started to tell more people about it. And as I've told more people about it, they've given me reassurances and it made me feel better. So, and the other thing I've completely realized what I have to do no matter what. This is a side of, but right now, even more so in the pandemic, I have to stay out of the news and Twitter and social. Like it's just, I think that's the other thing. It was such a long couple months from the election. The election didn't end into the holidays, into the insurrection of the Capitol, into impeachments. The whole thing, like it's been nonstop, right? It's just been constant chaos while you're trapped in your home.
Ability to stay out of the news, that kind of stuff.
Look, which is great. And
you asked me 4 things today, and it's like, hey, did you hear about this? Did you hear about this? Did you hear about this? And did you hear about this? I was like, huh.
No, that doesn't shock me in the slightest. And I'm right now I'm envious because I need to get out of the news.
I haven't.
So, but you did hear about the thing we're going to talk about. But no, I think that too is just it's just too much going on. There's just too much. So I just need to like focus on what matters and do my job and take care of my kids and my family. And that's what I need to focus on. So
Yeah. Well, knowing you, I'm not worried about it.
I'll be fine by this. I'm better. I'm fine today, actually. But
I will say this: sometimes I'll come into this thing as in recording a podcast, I'll be stressed out of my mind, and then like we turn on the mics, and it's like, oh yeah, I'll be all right.
totally. No, I'm good now. Like I'm better. I was better this afternoon, but I wanted people to know like it's okay to have those moments because I had that like I'm gonna burn down my house moment. Like I just need to get out. I need to get out of here, and that'll give me a reason to leave.
You just built a nice patio. You don't.
Yeah, I know. I'd love to be able. See, that's the thing. I'd love to be able to go sit out there right now. It's just it's the winter. It's New England. I get it. All right, I'm done.
All right. Can I tell you something good?
Yes. Let's move on to positive.
All right. So we all know for the last I don't know month ish, not month, a little less than a month, last few weeks, we've been talking about the jobs we've got posted for the Worcester Red Sox.
Yep.
So we got to hire a ticket salesperson and a corporate partnership services person. Excuse me. Ticket sales job. Get this. Person sends an email and says, thanks for talking with me. I want to show you something. What they show is this is where I stood on the sales board of my previous company. As you can see, I am number one in new business, number one in total revenue, number one in clients. Here is a creative ticket thing that they did and described there. Here is 7 different positive emails that I have copied and pasted from my from some of my clients. I look forward to speaking with you soon.
Wow.
Right. So it was out of this world good.
I applaud that person, and I hope that person is round 2 or round 3.
Oh, I think they may have skipped 2 and just are going to 3. That was they were really good. It's really impressive.
It's out of the box. It's to the point. It's relevant, and it's pretty concise. Love it.
Yeah. So excellent. Have also had some terrible ones too.
I'm sure.
Second round interviews, and I feel bad because they basically go with the person that they're going to be working closely with, and then those two and I talk, and they feel like they're bringing them right. So it's like they're going to be good, and when they stink, they feel they like curl up in the corner.
Of course.
It was like I don't know what happened, but some of the why they stink. No depth.
So what do you mean by that?
The way I mean by that is there's either just quick yes or no answers and no like a person I asked like what's your why, like why are you doing this, why are you trying to do this job with the Worcester Red Sox? I really want to see my career grow and I want to run a sports team. How are you going to get there? Well, I just want to get in and start working my way up so that I can achieve my dream of running a sports team. You just said nothing.
You just said cliches. You just said cliches.
And it's like, you didn't give me anything. So I said, I'm like, Bernadette goes, take it easy. As I'm emailing, as I'm talking to this guy, I was like, take me deeper. Like, did you go to sporting events? What did you enjoy when you were there? What about the business of that? Can you, what about the business of this that makes you special? Sometimes I'll ask the question, there's 300 people. We're down to like 15. Congratulations. Why should I hire you and not the other 300?
Right.
And sometimes that like takes them back. It was like, I don't know. Right. Like you see the deer in headlights look.
Yep.
And, so the depth of not like knowing why you want to do this. What is the reason that you're trying to do this besides, hey, I'm kind of in my parents' basement and I need a job?
Yeah, no, I that's frustrating. I mean, The only thing is, look, it immediately puts you on the sidelines. That's all I can tell you.
Why, so what would be a good answer? The good answer would be something of like, someone gave me a good answer is, um, it was for the services job. And he's like, when you go talk to a corporate partner, I assume he had some experience. So it's like, you're working through some of that you're solving their problem, right? They want to market to a specific group of people. You have that specific group of the people. They are trying to do this in their organization. How do they use the stuff that you have to solve that problem? He goes, I love problem solving. Problem solving is one of my favorite things. And I sat down with this client previously and did X, Y, and Z, and that increased their, number of impressions or social stuff or whatever that they were trying to do, by this much. And like that problem solving path that we went through, I love that. That's why I do this, is that being on that path. I love that path. That's a hell of a lot better than, I'm just trying to get my foot in the door and climb up the corporate ladder and blah, blah, blah. That has no depth. That's just, you're trying to bullshit a bullshitter, and you can't do that, right? It just doesn't work.
No, it doesn't. It really does. Like, it immediately disqualifies you.
Tell me the truth.
Yeah, and that's where it's what it is, right? We were talking about before we hit record, we have our podcast before our podcast, which we should record. We should record that.
You're getting so much trouble for that.
We would
be fired 6 times.
It's about being who you are and authentic. Like our business, you're not the sleazy salesperson. You're not like the kind of like pulling crazy tactics. We're selling fun. We're selling sports. We're selling experiences. We're selling people who want to go hang out with you and go to the ballpark in the suite and grab a beer and have some chicken wings. Like that's who you need to be. And like, that's what you need to be in an interview, because when someone asks you that question, just tell the truth. Like, why do you really want this job? You don't want this job because you like to be on the brand side, and like, it's just, don't be cliche. I really want to be a part of this job because I've gone to sporting events my whole entire life. The feeling that I get when I'm inside that building is second to none. Having the ability to be doing this for a full-time living and create those experiences for other people. I want to wake up every day when I get out of bed and run through that wall and go to work, because I don't consider it work, because I'm going to be working with great people, creating great experiences for brands. And on the flip side, hey, I get paid to do this. That's my goal. Like, I'd be like, okay, like you're hired. Like
you can feel authenticity,
right?
When you talk to somebody, and when people don't have it, it's like, sometimes I'm the worst. One time and another time, a good Scranton story. Maybe I was just immature during this time. There was a guy that I just couldn't I couldn't handle. And I just said, all right, you're not a fit for this. Thanks. And I just,
in the middle of the interview?
In the middle of the interview, I just said, thanks. This isn't going to work out. I appreciate your time, but see ya. And this was face-to-face interviews. These weren't Zooms.
Yeah. I was going to ask you, we haven't done any, we're not hiring. We haven't hired since it started. How are the Zoom interviews? Are they harder?
Are talking to us harder, right? Like talking to your colleagues harder. It's just different. You don't get the right feel. It's better than doing only phone.
Are they showing up dressed to the nines, or are they showing up kind of different, casual?
So far has been good.
Okay.
So far has been good. But I'm only on the second ones, right? So the first ones I hear occasionally there'll be some like, hoodies, and I'll say, oh, they're showing up not casual, and then I'm in a hoodie, right? Like, but I get to do that, right? I'm not the one interviewing. So yeah, but so far, the only thing that I get annoyed with is internet. Like I know it's not that person's fault.
Oh, like,
but it's
cutting out
and everything. I know it's not that person's fault. The person obviously is.
Yeah,
they can't control the internet,
right?
But I get that. But can't you find a good spot in your house? Can you practice this before?
I know. Yeah, it's,
you know what I'm saying. But obviously, like, you can't do that.
You can't hold it against them, though.
No, of course not. Of course not. I'm just saying it annoys me.
It annoys me. And every
like driving behind somebody slow. You can't control it, but like
every day on Zoom, someone's going,
hurry up.
You're like, yo, we can't hear you. Nope, you're on mute. You're cutting out. You're frozen. Oh God. Pandemic burnout. Pandemic Burnout.
Lose your mind. It's like that Workday commercial. Did you ever see that? It's
I
like
have.
Workday,
Yep.
Workday, and then they have all the cliches after you get on mute. Oh, hey
Oh,
Bob, you're on mute, and then oh, there he is.
oh God. I just, yeah. It's been a year. It's been a year. I was in like CES last year this time.
Having
Not
a
so
lot more
much.
fun in Vegas.
I went from Vegas to Miami to Fort Myers to my basement. That was the transition.
Hey, you went out, in a blaze
Went
of
out with a
glory,
bang. Yeah, went out with a bang.
like Bon Jovi said.
But yeah,
Blaze
so
of Glory, by the way, is the best Bon Jovi song.
really,
Yeah,
not living on a prayer.
that song did end my wedding though.
Yeah, I mean it's an amazing sing along song. It's the best
It's a
karaoke
great
song.
sing along song. It's a
Yeah,
great night closer song
totally.
because you're
Everyone knows the
usually
words. Everyone knows the words.
everyone knows the words. You come out of the womb knowing the words to that song, and we ended our wedding and that and we're all drunk and we're all singing the song and it's like end the wedding better.
Well, I won't try and beat you.
Do it. What is
No,
it?
we did Piano Man. I think we talked about this.
Did we?
I think we did. This
Yeah,
is
man.
Deja.
Piano
I'm
Man's
having.
fine. Piano Man's fine.
Everyone knows the
Same.
words.
Everyone knows the words. Same principle, different song.
Very different. Very different. I would say like one is a rock song and one is like a melody.
Yeah, right. Right. So go out with a rock song. Got it. That one's better. Got it. Thanks.
Point Rob. Hey, look, you took the jersey. You had a jersey guy close your wedding. That's all I know.
That's fine. I don't care. I had fun.
Another thing we were talking about in our pre podcast. We should be retired right now.
Stocks.
GameStop.
Yeah. So I don't know enough about this, right? I told you I put my money in my 401k and I have IRAs or whatever, but they kind of sit there and I don't ever look at them besides the annual thing. This year I started putting money in the stock market just because I felt like it was the right thing to do. So I know enough to be dangerous, but I don't know enough, right? So you were telling me that you could buy options against stocks, right? That's called short selling because you're basically saying
you short the stock. So you're saying it's going to go down. So like you're betting that it's going to be at a lower price at a certain point, and then when the difference is what you get to buy it back at. So it's shorting the stock.
I play craps when I go to the casino. You're betting the don't pass line.
Exactly, the people that you hate.
Yeah, so there was one night in Vegas. I maybe had way too much to drink, and
maybe
definitely had way too much to drink. And I was with this guy, and I was still learning craps. And he's like, "Watch me, just follow me." And I was with that guy. I never walked away with more money from a playing night at craps than I did with that guy, who was the biggest jerk of all time. But I won money. I didn't say nothing.
You were playing the don't pass line
for one night, yeah, and I made like $300.
I would have punched you. Whenever someone's on the table.
So then after I walked out of there, I was with friends. I walked out of there and I said, I don't care how much money I won. I did not like the way I felt after.
No.
You're betting. You're like the house.
No, you're a scumbag. I literally when I play craps and someone's betting the don't pass line and I win and it hits the point, I'd say, pay me with that person's money. Don't take their money. I want that person's money. Take that person's money from right there and pay me with their money.
Craps
because
is my favorite.
You are a jackass if you bet the don't pass line.
Craps is my favorite one.
Oh, it's my I play crap. I'm not even exaggerating. I've played craps from 10 p.m. till 10 a.m. before.
I love craps. Craps is
I've gone 12 hours on a craps table and then gone to the buffet, got breakfast, and then passed out at the pool in Vegas. This is back in the day. Like I'm not doing that right now, probably. Maybe I could do it for one night.
You could do it for a night.
I could definitely do it for a night. But I used to do it for 3 nights. But that was our go-to. Like we would take over the craps table. Like a bunch of us would go to Vegas. And that's the most fun because you play with your buddies. Because I could play with you at blackjack. I could win a bunch. You could lose a bunch. It kind of stinks, right? Like,
yeah, no, craps is way better.
Craps, we're all in it together. They're all going to win.
All in it together. We're so on the same page.
Yeah.
Craps, and like I feel uncomfortable when like I don't know. I'm not great at like quick, simple math. I don't know, like,
Yeah.
so counting to 21 takes me a little bit. Like 8 plus 7, it's like, oh my goodness, I'm gonna need a second.
Don't hit.
And so then, like, so you do hit, right?
Well, it depends
And
on
then,
what the depends. Yeah.
but depends. So depends. Like,
Yeah, no, you have
no,
to play. That's the thing about blackjack. You have to play right, or if you're with people who know how to play right, they're gonna hate you.
right. So I'm definitely the guy.
Craps is the only game in the casino. The odds are not against you, and you actually play with your friend. You play with your friends. So like when everyone
And
hits
you're
the
all in it together.
right, it's
That's
so
the
much.
thing. If I
Yeah.
win, you win.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
You might
Except
win
for the
more
jackass
because,
on Don't Pass line.
right.
Yeah.
So you might win more because you have different bets other places, right? But the camaraderie of a craps table on a
so much.
hot craps table
Oh
is
yeah.
so good.
It's the best game, and it's the best game in the casino.
It's so good. And I'm gonna make the awkward transition to other thing that's really good. But our episode today, Chris, is brought to you by our great friends and partners and wonderful people at San Diego State's University Sports MBA program. It's good to read their ads again, don't you think?
It's amazing. I'm jealous of Mr. Minto. My parents are supposed to leave this Sunday for San Diego for their retirement.
You know what starts tomorrow? Tomorrow's Thursday. It's the Farmers Open, which happens at Torrey Pines.
San Diego.
Yeah, right. One of my favorite things. All right. So love San Diego State, love San Diego, love Scott Minto, and the whole SDSU Sports MBA program. So whether you're currently in a sports role, or you're looking to give your skills a boost, or you want to pivot to a career in sports, the sports-focused MBA program at SDSU can help you get there. Join SDSU's 400 plus alumni, my favorite being little Jackie Tipton, who's, a boss with the Penguins, right? He's vice president of corporate partnerships. SDSU's 400 plus alumni with exciting roles in college athletics, pro sports, agencies, brands, and many more segments of the industry by enrolling in the next cohort, of SDSU's Sports MBA students this fall. Applications are now open through March 1st, so you got like a month. And due to the COVID-19 adjustment this year only, there is no GMAT or GRE required. To attend an information session, speak to an alum, or start your application, visit sdsu.edu/sports MBA. I'm going to read that again because they are fantastic. sdsu.edu/sports MBA. And we have one of their current students, Alina, as our social media and marketing person. Is that what we want to give her a title?
You could be chief. She's
intern.
Chief.
She's chief marketing officer of front office features.
It's fine. It's fine. Go ahead. CMO, baby. Congratulations.
she is the CMO of front office features.
What a promotion in the middle of the interview. Put that on your resume, Alina. CMO.
Right?
Why not? Well, I'll vouch for it. CMO.
And that's a perfect example that titles are free. Always ask for the money.
Call yourself janitor. I don't care.
Oh my goodness.
Anyway. Yeah. So if you don't want to go to San Diego State, you could buy GameStop stock.
So can we explain more how this works? We got way off on craps. I love craps.
But no,
I miss going to casinos. I want to go to a casino.
You do. I agree. So like it was a perfect analogy that you had though. Like betting against the don't pass line is what short selling is. You short sell saying the stocks will go back and you buy it back at a lower price.
And it's also called options, right?
Options are different.
Okay.
Well, sort of. Anyway, we have to give everyone a Wall Street. So what happened was in this situation, a subreddit called Wall Street Bets or something like that, got together and bandied about and said, we see there's a ton of short money in the game stock, rightfully so. Like GameStop is obviously in trouble right now. Like everything is downloaded. Video games are all downloaded. It's becoming like Blockbuster 2.0. So they pumped the stock. It's like people do called pump and dump with penny stocks. They pumped the stock up kept buying, 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 buying. That forces the hedge funds who do all these short sells to then go cover their losses and kept buying the stock, buying the stock, buying the stock. It drove it up like 350%
It
in
was
2
at
days.
like $18 like a week
Yeah,
ago.
it's at
and now it's
300. There's a guy. So the guy that was leading this charge on Reddit, he's been posting his screenshots of his account. He made $33 million in 2 days. 33 million.
He's got to sell, right?
So he hasn't sold yet. Because this. Here's the thing. Anybody out there listening, do not do this. Do not do this. Do not go buy into this, because they did the same thing with AMC today. AMC went up 300% today. AMC theaters, 300%. They pumped AMC. They also pumped Bed Bath and Beyond up 60% today. Stocks that are obviously been destroyed by the pandemic have just been absolutely shorted by these hedge fund sellers, just destroying the stock, driving it down. These people came in and like said, nope, we're going to screw you. And Steve Cohen, we could tie it back to sports. Steve Cohen, the new owner of the Mets, had to give his buddy $2.8 billion the other day to help him cover his losses that he was having on GameStop.
What?
Yes. $2.8 billion.
How do you just give him that much money?
He gave him $2.8 billion as a loan to save that guy's this hedge fund because it had so much shorted stock against GameStop. I just saw, so short sellers lost $14.3 billion today on the GameStop stock. Today.
What?
Because of how high they drove the price of this stock. So now everyone's like crying, like SEC's trying to shut them down. But a lot of people are coming out and saying, well, hedge funds do this all the time. Like they manipulate the stock market regularly. So like, why is it not okay for a bunch of people on Reddit to do it?
Crazy.
So people made literally tens of millions of dollars doing this. But the downside is there's going to be a lot of people, forget the hedge funds, who are going to lose tens of millions or a lot of money, who are like, oh, I need to get in on this, and throw like 20 grand in that they don't have. And then like that gone. Like the stock is going to crater because obviously GameStop is not worth what it's at right now. Like there's no reason for it. Of
course not. It wasn't worth maybe at the $18 it was trading at.
Exactly. So it's no different than a penny stock that gets like fake news about a drug that's going to be going to FDA approval, et cetera, et cetera. People are like, oh, there goes up 300%, and then it craters in an hour. Same stuff's about to happen. It's just like, you better get out now if you did go in. And if you haven't gotten in, I'm going to give you the advice to stay away. Just stay away. So yeah,
if that would have happened, I would have bailed like when it was, if it was at $18, I would have bailed that. It was like,
I should put it on our Twitter account. He's up $33 million.
Do it. Put it on there.
I'll put it out there.
Put it out there. Yeah. So it's insane. I don't even know how it ties to sports, but I just find it interesting.
I just tied it back to sports with Steve Cohen.
Steve Cohen. There you go. Well done.
Mets owner. He had to give someone $2.8 billion.
I don't understand how you just have that lying around either.
He's worth $14 billion.
So he gave what, more than 10% of it to somebody.
I don't know. Who knows with those guys? But then people were actually, so the Mets fans were concerned. There's a whole New York Post article. Mets fans are concerned about Steve Cohen's finances right now because of GameStop. Because the Mets got in trouble. We'll tie it all back to sports. The Mets ownership and the Wilpons got in trouble because you know why, right?
Yeah, the what's it called?
Madoff money.
Madoff, yeah, got the pyramid.
All their money was in Madoff. So like the Mets owners had no more money, so they stopped buying players. So yes, it all comes full circle back to sports. But GameStop, AMC, don't buy that stock right now. Just don't do that. That's our financial advice on Front Office Features.
Oh yeah, we're giving financial advice. We should open up our own
hedge fund.
Hedge fund.
Give us your money, we'll invest it for you.
Oh my goodness.
We'll buy a minor league baseball team.
I would take it easy on that for a little bit.
Well, no, this is no, Rob. The valuations are going down.
Right.
This is the time you buy. We buy them low. We buy them low. We bring them back up.
correct. I still would take your time a little bit on
Yeah.
that.
Speaking of that, did you see Jesse Cole is starting to try and do something else now? I didn't see like
I
specifically.
saw he's trying to like take like a traveling baseball team around and like try to have different baseball. Like he was trying to do it in my lovely hometown of Mobile, Alabama, and the old ballpark there. So yeah, he's trying to.
What does that mean though? Like a traveling base, they're just go play random people?
I guess so. I haven't.
You think he regrets not having sponsors right now? Because
He is an interesting fellow. We'll say that, and you can listen to him. He was one of our, and he was very nice, right? Jesse took time. We actually did it on a Saturday morning, and he took a time on a Saturday to do it. It's actually one of the episodes I regret a little bit. I think that I wasn't as prepared as I should have been, and it was, there's a couple of questions I should have asked, but I didn't. But that was kind of so anyway, live and learn. But yeah, he's an interesting cat, very full of energy, thinks very differently. So I give him a lot of credit for doing what he's doing. But I asked him about the sponsorship stuff. Got a little pissed off at me because I was like, this doesn't make any sense. Like this, how does this affect the, he's worried about the fan side.
he's wrong. He's wrong. I'm just gonna tell you. He's wrong.
I agree. I actually think it enhances the fans' experience many times. That can also be annoying. There's some things that can be annoying, but I don't think that an outfield sign.
No, it's ridiculous. It's absolutely absurd. I mean, there've been signs on the Green Monsters since like 1910. So like I don't understand.
And then they all came down, and then they came back with Lucchino.
They did. Larry put up a Coke bottle.
He wants to do that again with a polar can.
It's gonna like fizz. It's gonna like fizz off the top of it.
We'll see.
Dunkin' Donuts did that with their park in Hartford, right? They had like a coffee cup, I think.
A coffee cup on top of the scoreboard. It's circles around and then puffs steam when they hit a home run or something.
Dunkin' Donuts park. That's but
Dunkin' Park
is
no, yeah.
No, yeah. But speaking of interviews, Spike Ball next week, CEO founder.
You just blew my mind with the Dunkin' stuff.
I'll take it offline.
Offline. All right. Anyway,
okay.
So we got Spike Ball CEO. I'm anxious for that one because you know what you can do. He was on
played
Shark
Spike
Tank.
Ball. Have you played Spike Ball?
I have not played it like at a beach or anything. I think someone had it around and I effed around with it a little bit, but it looks like a lot of fun.
So we have him coming, and then we also have, and I did a pre-interview with it's the company's called Let's Engage, and it's partly founded. Its president is Jake Olson, who is the long snapper from USC who is blind.
Yeah, that one sounds good.
So this is going to be the epitome of front office features. I am so looking forward to this interview. The president, CEO, co-founders all graduated within the last year, called Let's Engage. They have a platform, a full-on celebrity platform where they're a booking engine for people who can go on. They have T.O., they have David Ortiz. I think they have celebrities that you can go on and book these custom appearances for. And they started it as freshmen in college at USC. He was Jake Olson's roommate. And they were like, hey, there's nothing really out there where you can go do this. And they started this company. We always talk about do something, right? Like, don't just say you want to do something, like do something. So I talked to these guys the other day as like a pre-interview for our interview coming up. And that's going to be interviewed in, I think, a week, next week, which will come out in a couple of weeks. But yeah, no, excited about that. So very Jake Olson obviously has a very cool story. I mean, he's a blind long snapper.
Was it a 30 for 30? It wasn't a full 30 for 30, but it was one of those like Sports Center things.
I'm
right?
sure. I don't know exactly. I mean, I'm sure he has a ton of exposés on him. He's blind. He's playing football.
Yeah, right. No, it was pretty cool. Pretty cool. All right. Well,
we'll save our other topic for next week.
What's our other topic?
Baseball cards.
Let's talk about that next week. Baseball cards are exploding.
We had an interview with someone about that, didn't we? Didn't you interview somebody about collectibles or something?
Yes, we had the Topps guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, a guy from Tops. That's right. I forgot about that.
He was in the same interviews. Like you did a technology one, the Tops one,
Yeah, we
and
did a couple combined. Those were good. Yeah, the baseball card world. Let's just talk about now because it kind of goes with that GameStop thing, and it is exploding.
it's the stock market. It's literally the stock market.
Gary V is like all in it. I'd be listening to some of his podcasts a couple years ago, and he's like, "I'm getting into cards, man. Getting into cards, back into cards."
They were huge. Did you cut cards when you were a kid?
Oh my god, tons.
Yeah.
Tons.
I should do through. I keep telling Rachel this. I should go through. I have full sets from the 80s in my attic right now. Because as I was a kid, I used to get the set every year, right?
Here?
For Christmas.
Like at your attic here? You like
No, here upstairs. Like my parents were cleaning out their house because they're like take all your stuff. I have them. Like I probably have some very valuable cards up there.
Go do it. Have you seen what's going on?
I know. I know. I gotta
go upstairs. You're saying I'm in a pandemic burnout. Go look at old baseball cards. There's nothing more nostalgic.
Oh, there's certain ones
at old baseball cards.
There's certain ones I can picture in my mind that was always just like there's certain years that were just like cooler than others.
Oh, that and like it just instantly takes you back to when you were 8.
Were you a Fleer kid or a Tops kid?
More of Tops.
Yeah, I was a Tops kid.
More of a Tops and Donruss and Upper Decks.
Yep, Upper Decks. Yep. And getting a pack of baseball cards when you were a kid and like opening it up and seeing what was inside them
was the best.
What were the ones that had the stick of gum?
Wasn't that Tops?
Was that Tops?
Yeah.
It was like a crappy stick of gum. It was the worst. It was the worst gum. It was so stale. It had no flavor.
Nothing.
Yeah, I loved getting baseball cards. I used to go to a baseball card store, right? Like I used to go to card shows in the mall. Like that's where they had autographs. Of course.
Not just baseball cards. There's Burlington that we would ride our bikes to. And I would stay there for a long time, just looking at the different cards. And
you'd flip through them, and then it
was the best. But I was thinking like the store owners must have hated us. Like,
oh yeah, because you didn't buy it.
Here comes 12-year-olds. Got it. So you're not going to buy anything.
Oh yeah, and these guys
going to look through all the stuff.
I wonder what these guys did with all their inventory because now they'd be millionaires. Some of this stuff.
Some of the stuff is off the charts, crazy.
Yeah,
but I wish you should definitely do that. I just found like some old baseball cards, maybe not too long ago, but nothing of value. Like as I was looking through some stuff in the basement or whatever, and it instantly takes you back where it's like,
oh, I could use that right now.
Where I find a card and it's Stan Belinda, and it's like Stan Belinda used to be my favorite Pirates pitcher forever, and it's like. I remember Jeff Robinson was in the bullpen for the Pirates. He had the same birthday as me.
I have them. I have them all in those books. Remember those books? Like
a ton of them.
I have them upstairs. Yeah.
You know what else I found that came in books? Like the CD books that you would have.
Oh yeah.
Car. And then like all this custom CDs.
They don't even make them anymore. They don't even make CD players anymore for cars.
No, that's untrue. My 2017 Ford Explorer
has a CD player.
Has a CD player.
Really?
Never put a CD in there, but it has a CD player.
You sure it's not a DVD player?
No, it's a CD player.
Okay, all right.
I think. No, they would have told me because where else would there be? There's no other screens besides the one right there in the front. It's not like
because my 2000. I have an Ultima. I have a DVD player there.
Do you have my front screens in the back?
No, just in like that's you can't be it doesn't work when you're driving, but there's a DVD player.
Oh, got it.
Not that I've never used. When the hell am I going to sit in my car and watch a DVD? It
seems so weird. First off, I'm not going to do it at the comfort of my own house. The last thing I'm going to do is
no. That would have been
the
epitome. I don't watch Netflix, but I go and watch DVDs in my car. That would have been like such a Rob Crane like fact.
Yeah, it's like I've never seen a movie in my house, but I've seen 30 of them from the front seat of my vehicle. What are you talking about?
That's exactly what I'd have to say. What the hell are you talking about? All right, I'm gonna go find my baseball cards.
It'll make you feel better, I promise.
Okay.
All right, I'll see you
later.